Hey, welcome! In this video, I'm super excited to be announcing the Embodied Consciousness Program. Now, what is that, you might be wondering? This is a 12-week group coaching program that I've been working on for months now that is specifically designed to help you to embody a higher state of consciousness. Now, I survey a lot of people in my audience. I coach them one-on-one, and I ask them, what's the number one thing that is stopping you from living your best life and from being the best version of yourself? And I get all kinds of answers, many of which I'm very personally familiar with. Many people say they're struggling with bad habits. Many people say that they're just endlessly chasing after pleasure. They're always distracted. They're judging and criticizing themselves, and they're worried what other people are thinking of them. Many people just say they're too busy. I don't have any time to work on myself and to raise my consciousness and to be the best version of myself. And I've experienced all of these problems for myself in my life, and what I've noticed is that all of these problems are kind of like outgrowths of one root problem. So you might think your problem is that you have all these bad habits, or that your problem is that you're afraid of other people judging you. But what I've noticed is that what the root problem is that your state of consciousness isn't high enough. And basically, you're just stuck in an egotistical state of mind identification where your awareness gets sucked into your thoughts. And your mind is basically running your life. Your monkey mind is in control of what you do when you wake up in the morning. All your cravings, everything you do is basically being controlled by your monkey mind. You don't have enough awareness and enough detachment from your thoughts. And that's the root cause of all of your suffering. If you spend the rest of your life, for example, not actually raising your consciousness and just kind of continuing on this same pattern of just identifying with a thought and then running after it, like, oh, I got a craving for food, oh, let's go get some food. Oh, I got a craving for porn, oh, let's go watch some porn. So this tendency to just get sucked into thoughts, this is keeping you on a kind of hamster wheel that the Buddhists call samsara, which is basically where you're lost in a cycle of suffering and you don't have enough awareness and consciousness to break out of this cycle, where you're constantly chasing after pleasure and avoiding pain. And notice how when you're constantly chasing after something that's in the future and running away from something that's in the present, then you're never able to actually just accept what is. You're never able to have a full experience of the moment. So the way I imagine it is that you have all these problems in your life, but your consciousness is kind of like the master volume knob, where when you turn the master volume and you can raise your consciousness, that positively affects every single area of your life. Your business, your relationships, your creative expression, your spiritual growth, your happiness, your ability to just experience life and play and enjoy and have fun. All of this is hinged upon your ability to raise your consciousness. Now, the problem is there's a lot of information out there, and raising your consciousness is often a grueling and difficult process. Regardless of what many people might say, where we all skip around and say, oh, just raise your consciousness. Oh, it's so easy. Just meditate 10 minutes a day and drink some celery juice. Then, you'll become an enlightened master. Now, unfortunately, I've tried that, and it doesn't actually work. In order to raise your consciousness, you need to have a system. you need to have a toolbox of techniques that have been proven for thousands of years to actually work, that have been split tested by enlightened masters, specifically the Buddhists, which is what I pull from a lot. These techniques are specifically designed to help you to raise your consciousness so that you can disidentify from your thoughts, you can rest in being, you can see the emptiness of the moment. You can see that reality is basically like a dream. And once you notice that reality is like a dream, it becomes a lot more free, a lot more fun. You feel a lot better. Your vibration raises, and then everything just flows effortlessly and naturally when you're in a high vibration state, because you're not fighting against reality. Instead, you're actually flowing with reality. So the system that I've actually designed from scratch to help you to raise your consciousness, this is what we're going to be going through in the Embodied Consciousness program. It's a 3-month program, and in the first month, I'm going to be helping you get into your body and actually bring the consciousness into your body. This is like the foundation. In the second month, we're going to be working on your heart and the loving kindness and setting the proper intention. And then in the third month, we're going to be really blasting off into cyberspace, because we're bringing all of this foundation. This is the body and the heart. That's like the foundation. And then we can use that to blast off into our crown and really have some profound awakening experiences, which I'm going to talk about in 1 second. So first of all, in the first month in the body, I'm going to be helping you get your breathing right, first and foremost. So we're going to be talking about how to do mindful breathing so that you can actually trace the movement of your breath. What this is going to do is it's going to sharpen your consciousness so that you can feel very awake and clear and sharp. This helps you to slow your mind down so that you can slow your life down, so that the things that are causing you to suffer in the same cycle that's happening over and over and over again, it's the same cycle, the wheel of samsara. When you can slow your mind and your life down, you can actually start to see, oh, this pattern has been playing out thousands of times. Maybe I should just not do that anymore. Before, you weren't even able to see it because you're in a rush. You're rushing around. You have to go to work, to school. Everything's so fast. You slow down with doing the proper breathing technique, and also mindfulness as well. Mindfulness with labeling. Actually just being present, being aware, being in your body. When you're brushing your teeth, you're actually aware that you're brushing your teeth and you're trying to do an excellent job. You're paying attention to the sensations of the bristles on your gums. So it's these little simple things like this. This really serves as the foundation of the whole system of raising your consciousness. And the next thing I'm super excited to be showing you guys is body work. Body work is something that was introduced to me by one of my meditation teachers and is something that has completely changed my life. I haven't spoken about it on the channel because in order to do body work, I actually need to guide you through it in a live setting, so that basically what we're doing is there's a bunch of different practices that just help you to relax your body and to let go of tension. I remember the first time I was shown how to do body work, basically where you're just lying on the floor on your back, and there's this towel that you put underneath your back in a specific spot, and when you're lying there on the towel, you just feel all of your channels in your body just open up, and my jaw relaxes, my mind slows down. I all of a sudden feel more calm. more relaxed, more aware. And I just lie there for 10-15 minutes doing the correct breathing technique and just sinking into the floor. And then when I take the towel out from underneath my back, I remember I was lying there and I felt like my back was almost hugging and accepting the support from the floor. And this is obviously something you need to experience for yourself, but we don't really notice that our body is constantly holding tension. We're almost fighting against reality. We're on this constant state of self-protection. And I felt like for the first time in my whole life, just for lying on this towel for 10-15 minutes, I felt like my body was actually accepting support from the universe. And then even the way I was breathing changed. My breathing was bigger and more slow and more in my belly. My face relaxed, my jaw relaxed. And as I would go to stand up from the floor, I felt my whole body was like actually standing completely differently. And then even when I was walking completely differently. My hips were moving differently, my ankles, my shoulders were being held differently. This body work is really a game changer. If you're someone who suffers from any kind of body pain at all, or even if like when you're just sitting and meditating and your knees hurt a lot, or you feel like your posture isn't proper, we're going to be working on that as well. And the main thing that helps with that, that's really helped me a lot, is the body work. And this is something that I struggled a lot with, having a bad posture when I was meditating. I've even caused nerve damage to myself in my knees. And I just hold a lot of body tension because I lift weights at the gym. And doing this body work is really like, I can't hype it up enough. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's like instantly, just for after doing it for 10-15 minutes, you immediately feel the results. And it actually changes the way your body acts, the way you stand, the way you walk. All of it's completely different. And this is how you actually embody consciousness. Then we're going to be talking about walking meditation, which is one of my favorite ways to walk. One of my favorite ways to meditate is to do walking meditation. After we do the body work, we can actually integrate the lessons we learned from doing the body work. We integrate it into our walking by learning how to do conscious walking meditation, which is super important to know how to do, so that whenever you're walking, your attention's actually grounded in your feet, as opposed to being lost in your mind, up in fairy tale land, imagining a million things at once. Instead, what if you're just paying attention to the way your feet feel? That's called being grounded, and that feels freaking amazing. And at the end of month 1, I'm going to be giving you a stack, basically, where slowly, bit by bit, we're going to be building up a stack of meditation practices where all of them are actually designed to work together in a super powerful way. And I have a specific order that I give them to you in, so that they all work together, they all build off of each other, and you can do this stack of practices first thing in the morning. It's going to take 45 minutes about, and this is something that's really going to get you some powerful results. All right, we're not done yet. In month 2, it's all about the heart. So we've built the foundation of the body. The body is like the legs of the practice. Now we're moving into the heart of the practice, which we're going to start with some loving kindness meditation, which sounds super fruity and airy-fairy. I remember when I first began doing meditation, I wasn't that interested in loving kindness. I thought that was like just for girls, or just for people who just want to, skip around in the forest, basically. I was interested in the hardcore meditation, like self-inquiry or like Zen meditation. But as my practice has deepened, I've realized that loving kindness is actually one of the most powerful practices that exists. And all spiritual systems have some aspect of loving kindness, where basically the guided loving kindness meditation that I give you, where we're paying attention to our heart center and we're expanding the love to all sentient beings. And this love really makes you feel super clear, super awake. It just softens you as an individual. And that is what allows you to kind of go with the flow of life, to be compassionate, which I've talked a lot about on the channel. Then we're going to be talking about surrender, which is an extremely important aspect of any conscious person's life. Surrendering is the ability to trust in the universe to support you and guide you. We always have trust issues with the universe. We're always afraid that if we don't work hard enough, then we're not going to survive. Or if we don't constantly worry about every little detail of our life, then almost like everything is going to fall apart. But surrender is realizing that, hey, the universe has got your back. You don't have to worry about everything neurotically. You can trust that there is an infinite super intelligence that is literally guiding you through your life. And surrendering to that super intelligence actually just makes life so peaceful, so fun, so effortless. And that's actually what allows you to be the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself is actually the version of yourself that surrenders to life and allows infinite intelligence to flow through your vessel. That's how you be a genius. We see geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo or Albert Einstein. These geniuses, they're not smart because it's something personal. It's not like their ego is smart. They're just vessels for channeling God's intelligence. And the way you allow God to channel through you is through surrender. So we're going to be guiding you through that. And also realizing emptiness, which I've touched on a little bit, but emptiness is a big topic. And it's basically the realization that reality is empty of concepts and ideas, and there really is no such thing as objects. It's just emptiness. And philosophizing and theorizing about it really doesn't help. I'm going to be giving you practices where you can actually actualize emptiness in your experience. I remember for me, I was learning about emptiness for years, reading books about it, listening to teachers. But when I actually learned how to do the emptiness practice on a meditation retreat, the Lama taught me how to do it. And when I actually realized firsthand that reality is empty, it was almost like my entire experience was like a mirror. It was like there was no substance behind it. It was just pure light, pure reflection of consciousness. This is a completely different experience than theorizing, like, oh yeah, reality's empty. Sure, I read about it in some book. It's completely different than actually grounding in emptiness and realizing it. So I'm going to be helping you with that, and also a guided light meditation, which brings us into the third month, which is the crown. So we've set the foundation of the body. We've cultivated some loving kindness, and we are aware of emptiness in our heart. Now it's time to really blast off into the crown, where this is really stuff I've only been working with this year. For most of my meditation practice, I've been doing a lot of body and heart work, but the crown stuff is extremely, almost dangerously powerful, where in Buddhist circles, they don't even teach you a lot of these practices until you've been a monk for like 10 years. They start you off here, right? Because it's very grounded, very simple. But after 10 years, finally they're like, okay, if you're ready to awaken, here, let's give you the powerful shit. And that's where we get into Tantra and Vajrayana Buddhism. And the crown is really, it involves some practices that I never in a million years thought that I would be doing. But after working with these practices for a few months now, it's been completely transformative for my consciousness. These practices involve some very intricate visualizations that are called sadhanas. It's a visualization. I used to think visualizations were just for like hippies, basically. I would meditate on emptiness, right? That was my kind of attitude. It's like, it's all about emptiness. But I realized that Tantra is about the union of form and formless, and we can actually use a very detailed and intricate visualization practice that actually brings together everything that we've been learning in month 1 and month 2 and brings it all together into one visualization practice where it all comes together. I remember after doing this practice for a few days on a meditation retreat, at first I was skeptical. I was like, this is weird. I have to imagine all these deities and imagine light coming out of my heart. What the hell is that? That has nothing to do with mindfulness or emptiness. But after doing this for a few days and actually just giving it my all, I had an extremely profound awakening experience where after meditating, I walked outside and I just realized all of reality is just emptiness. It's just like the wind blowing in space. It's just emptiness moving on emptiness. And this word emptiness really doesn't do it justice, because when I say emptiness, you think of like blackness, or you think of a vast empty field. But emptiness is something you need to actually experience. It's not empty at all. It's actually full of love and consciousness. And that's what I realized firsthand after doing this visualization practice that I'm going to be showing you in the 3rd month. This also includes mantra meditation as well, which I wasn't that interested in, but now I friggin' love doing mantras. I do them all the time. They're super powerful. These visualizations and mantras, I see them almost as just like a vehicle that it's like a vehicle that carries your consciousness through the practice. It kind of keeps you focused. It's just a tool. And also, this crown work is very, very purifying. It purifies you of emotional baggage, emotional blockages, hang-ups. It's very, very purifying to help other people as well. So when you kind of fill yourself full of light, you purify yourself of bad habits, addictions, anger, jealousy, impatience. All these negative emotions are completely purified, and you're just sitting there like a newborn baby, and you can help other people purify their emotions as well. And I'm going to show you the practice for how to do that. It's called the equalization practice, which is extremely powerful. It's basically like, instead of meditating for me, I'm meditating for the purpose of helping other people. And my meditation becomes way more powerful when I do that. And I don't know why, but I think it's because reality is ultimately selfless. And this really brings it all together. All right, so by the end of the program, you're going to have a rock solid foundation with actual habits where you stay consistent. When we go together in the group, I find that the group has its own kind of energy where everybody's intention is amplified 100 times. Because I've worked with people one-on-one before, and I find that it's very easy to slack off when it's a one-on-one coaching session. But I found for myself, whenever I'm in a group, it's like everybody holds each other accountable. We can all share our experiences with each other, and it's almost like you're being seen by the group, and there's this kind of inclusion, this kind of tribe that's created. And this is a very powerful environment to transform your consciousness. In Buddhism, they have the Sangha, which is the group of practitioners. And we're going to be creating our own little Sangha in the group coaching program. I'm looking for about 12 people to sign up and go through this whole process with me. And if you're interested, what you can do is just click the first link in the description to book a call with me, where I'll talk to you on the phone and see if this program is going to be a good fit for you, if you're going to be a good fit for the program, and if I feel like we're a good match, then I'm going to tell you how you can sign up.